What's going on, everybody? The Silent Gamer, and I'm back with another video. How's everybody doing? All right. I know there's a lot of stuff going on with E3, and yes, I want to talk about that stuff. Really, the NBA Live 18 stuff really caught my attention. I am going to make a video on that later on this week, but for now, I ran across a topic or an article that I wanted to talk about, and it really involves a very interesting matter, and I want you guys' take on it. Now, as you know, that my passion is sports and sports gaming, and I just can't stay away from this guy. So I'll love to continue to talk about it. But here today, I came across an article about Indiana University. University bars applicants with sexual violence history from competition. With that being said, they're not using, you know, they're not allowing prospects of student athletes with a history of sexual violence or domestic violence to attend their school. In other words, it goes if you have a criminal background, a felony involving sexual violence, or been found responsible for sexual violence. That's also means if you've been convicted or pleaded guilty or no contest of such act. And I think this is a brilliant idea that most schools need to start implementing, because you have players who have a violent history or sexual activity against another person's will, continuing to play in some instances. Nowadays, it's really a big deal now. So you don't, once you hear about it, you see a lot of the players are being dismissed or barred, or they end up transferring to another school. But some of them do come into the university with that history, and for the fact that they can play, they're very good players. They do continue to play. And the situation that happened at Baylor and everything, and you had other players who've been going through stuff like this continue to play, which is nothing. They personally, I think they shouldn't play, but you've seen that instance when it has happened. But with Indiana saying, "Look, we're not having anyone come through our school with this type of baggage." And like I said, I think it's a great idea, and I think other schools should implement it so you won't have a situation like a Baylor or any other school who's had these instances. And for to a degree, it may not have to extend to just sexual violence. It could be any other felony in my book, because 9 times out of 10, when you have players who go through this, they have a history of repeating, especially sex offenders. I've dealt with sex offenders in my life with my prior occupation, and the recidivism rate is very, very high when you have those situations with those type of players or just people in general. So I mean, I understand, you had other players, like, let's say, for instance, you have Joe Mixon, who is coming into the league. He's not a sexual offender, but he has, a domestic violence situation with him. Now, I'm always into the land of second chances, but when you are dealing with schools who are not paying these players, yes, they're giving them a scholarship, but they're not paying these players, and it's not big business. Maybe the second chance isn't warranted, because people do have a right to live and try to make a living off of their talents or their abilities. And that's why I say in the NFL or the NBA or any other sport that's professional, they are warranted a second chance if someone gives them that chance. But when you're a student athlete, you're basically playing off of a scholarship, and to the extent that is a privilege. I mean, it is a privilege to be in professional sports as well. But I do see where a person who really wants to live and eat and wants to be able to obtain a life to make money, I understand the second chances. But in college, I think this should be implemented. I think it's a great idea, because they're not really trying to get an opportunity to have a precious thing like football. They throw it away based on their actions. Can they still get an education? Yes, I think they should be able to get an education to continue their, said career if they want to get an education. And there's nothing wrong with them going to school if they're smart enough to attend. But to play football, I think that's a different story. So let me know what you guys think. That's an interesting topic, I thought. Let me know what you think in the comment section. I really think this is a good thing when it comes to these kids. They should get an education, but they shouldn't be able to play. Take care. Peace.